Welcome back to the channel, guys. Glad to have you as always on another tactical preparedness, shit hit the fan, whatever you want to call it video. But seriously, we're glad to have you guys. If you haven't checked out the previous build series, pistol, shooting videos, gear reviews, go check them out. Get subscribed if you like. If you like the content, shoot me a comment. Let me know. That's the whole reason I do this. Otherwise, I'll be talking to myself here in the shop. So today we're going over, it's probably one of the most popular content creating things, tactical videos. A lot of those gun tuber guys are doing these right now, and I just thought that coming from somebody that's not a gun tuber, somebody that's just like you, I do a lot of hunting, a lot of sport shooting, target shooting. I like to tinker, like to build guns. You know, just your average everyday dude. I have zero training, none whatsoever. Nothing as far as medical, nothing as far as a conventional shooting course or class. You know, self-taught, you know, probably like a lot of you guys are that like to shoot or wing shoot or duck hunt. You know, you hunt with your buddies, you go shoot on the weekends. Maybe you take a trip to the range and you guys shoot long range, you know, like we did on the Savage build. And something that I thought would be really cool and relatable to you guys, to show you what an EDC looks like, EDC gear. Like, you know, if you want to step it up, you know, from something more than just a pistol. Maybe you carry a Glock, maybe you conceal carry. Maybe you live in a state like Georgia, like I do, that has constitutional carry. You know, I still have a valid carry permit because I'm never going to let that lapse. But Georgia is constitutional carry, where you can conceal carry without a license. Do that at your own risk. I still think in a shootout or self-defense situation, having that permit would be another ace card in your back pocket. So I'm going to always have that. But if you guys would want to carry, look at your local state laws and do so accordingly. But if you guys want to get straight into it, you know, if you've heard a lot recently in the news, who hasn't heard about Hamas, you know, the local attacks in Israel, that conflict going on, the conflict we keep funding out in Ukraine, conflicts and wars and shootings. There's a mass shooting that seems like it goes on every day in the U.S. So having this stuff is more relevant today than it ever has. You know, your granddad might have carried back in the day and said, hey, I throw a revolver in my pocket to go to Kroger. And you thought, you know, what the hell's going to happen at Kroger? Well, you never freaking know, guys. You never know. Shit hits the fan, comes to your neighborhood, your school, your business, while you're out with your family in Gatlinburg. I mean, you never know. I mean, us in the Southeast, you never know. Getting that out of the way, I'm going to show you guys how I level up in preparedness, stuff that may apply to you guys if you're, you know, travel for business. Say you travel out of state for welding. You're a door-to-door salesman, you do outside sales, you have a sales territory, you have a business you run out of state, you do a lot of commuting for your job. Whatever the case may be, it's not a bad idea to maybe look at some of this stuff, invest in it, learn about it, and maybe teach your friends and family about it along the way. So let's get after it. Let's break down an EDC and how to step up from there, and maybe get into some of the first line kit that I've invested in. So let's get into it. Where to start? Where to start with a concealed carry, everyday carry, truck carry. People laugh about that. Your truck can't carry a gun. Having a truck gun, a philosophy, most guys don't make the transition into carrying every day, normally with a shotgun or a rifle or something like that. Most guys start out with a pistol, guys or girls. You know, I think most girls should definitely carry, but having a pistol on you, knowing how to use it properly, having how to manipulate it under stress, whether you run your own shooting drills at home, dry fire practice, taking a defensive pistol course, any of that stuff can apply to this application. So my weapon of choice going into my EDC is a Glock 19 Gen 5. What you'll notice is right off the bat, I don't have a super overt, open carry setup here. This is something that I can put directly into my blue jeans, my sweatshirt, whatever I'm doing at the time. So this is a Glock 19 and a KJ concealment holster. This is a Gen 5, and yes guys, this is a carry gun, so it does have bullets in it. Isn't that surprising? She is clear in a safe direction for all you YouTube range officers. So there you go. So this is the Glock 19 Gen 5 MOS. All right, so what do I mean by MOS? MOS, I chose this specifically for its optics capability. So I didn't want to take the slide and have it milled. I wanted to have a direct factory fit to an optic. Now, there's two ways you can do this. You can take any Glock and send it out to people like Green Tech Tactical, any kind of CNC shop that does footprints for different optics. We can get into that rabbit hole later. My choice was a solar-powered with a battery backup Hollow Sun. This is a 407C with a green dot because I think green stands out better to the human eye. You guys, your mileage may vary. Choose a red dot if you like. There are thousands of these out in the market. Trijicon, Hollow Sun, CNH Precision that we used on the 1911 project. You guys will see in a minute. I like this because it's small, fits the footprint. Now, we are using an adapter plate. The plates that come with the Glock MOS system don't work very good in my opinion. They're made out of like die-cast Hot Wheel material. They're known to snap. A lot of police departments have broken them with racking and doing, you know, high pressure situations off of buildings and whatnot. So I chose a good, reputable plate. So with that being said, I like the capacity. I like the size. I've got bigger hands, and I feel like it fits my hand pretty well. I've got a little bit here that hangs off, but nothing that I can't fix. With a magazine, so I get that full-size grip. This is a standard Glock 19 15-round mag with a +2 Strike Industries extension. I like having more capacity on my magazines than just the standard. You could go with the 15-round and be fine. The philosophy is to never have to use this. The mindset is I would like to live and get out of this situation, whether I'm by myself, with my family, loved ones, friends, whatever, out of state, whatever, in state, at your home. The philosophy is, unless I'm in a corner and I have to pull this and save mine or somebody else's life or a loved one, then I have to. But if I don't have to and I can get out and get everybody out of the situation and not pull this, trust me, legal, you know, court-wise, the rest of your life-wise, you know, I don't want to live with having to kill somebody. I don't think anybody does. And I think that's what a lot of these places don't talk about, is the fact that if you take somebody's life with this, it's not cool. That's not fun. I don't know any war veteran that relishes in the fact that they killed a bunch of people. So, you know, train with this. This is a tool. This is something I have with me all the time, at all times, and have multiple of these. So train with it, get to know it, and be proficient with it. Go out shooting. Know where this thing is going to hit at 50, at 25, at 10, at 5 yards. Know that this thing is sighted in. Don't just put this on here to be Gucci, Reddit, you know, Google, Glockmaster. You have to use this stuff, guys. So buy it. Buy once, cry once too. Like if you're going to actually go out and invest in this, buy the good stuff. Buy a good light. Every carry pistol should have a light. Should have a light. Good Lord, guys. You should have a light on your carry pistol, because most bad shit happens at night. Let's just face it, most bad stuff happens at night. No one's going to walk up here in my driveway in the middle of a Wednesday, if they're smart, and start blasting away. I just don't think so. So I think at nighttime, stuff like that, have the capability to have some light and also have secondary lights. We'll get into that. But Glock 19, Gen 5, MOS, and 9mm, of course, also have the ability to put more than one type of magazine in your firearm. So I have multiple Glocks. The reason is Glock magazines are plentiful. They all fit the same thing. If you have at least a 17, a 19, a 45, you know, nothing smaller than a 19 is going to fit in a 19, but any of the bigger full-size 9mm magazines are going to fit. So common sense, I can level up, have a little bit more capacity if I had to, and use this in a combat handgun scenario if I had to. So if you had to go up, more mags, more capacity, it's good to have. Can't recommend this holster enough. Yes, I do rep for KJ, but the dude is awesome. He will make you a holster out of whatever you'd like. So I said, hey, I got a 19 Gen 5 with a TLR-7A on here as my weapon light. He's like, dude, got you covered. Carry this at all times in your pants. Get used to carrying it. This time of year is the best time for guys to go out and get used to carrying a pistol, because you can wear a hoodie, a jacket. It's a little bit cooler outside. When you get into the summer months, that's when you have to really have a strategy to carry. If you're a bigger guy, if you're fat, if you're skinny, mid-size, know what kind of size pants you have to have. Have a good belt. I'm not going to pull out all the belts here. You guys get that. Have a good belt. Know how to use it. Know how to conceal this. And in practice carrying. Carry what Don't buy it, carry it, shoot it, use it, abuse it, scratch it. Know how to clean it, know how to customize it. Do your own work, do your own gunsmithing. YouTube is a great reference. That's how I learned most of my stuff and doing it. Also, these deep concealment clips are great because you can throw these in a set of sweatpants. So sweatpants with no belt, if you have the right gun, maybe not a 19, but like a Glock 43, super thin, single stack magazine. Throw some of those new Palmetto State mags in there, get the extra capacity. But these deep concealment clips have teeth on them on the back side. That will help you. Other than that, if you're going more than EDC, more than everyday carry, what's the next level? What can I kit up from there? You know, do I need to kit up more than my everyday carry? What if shit hits the fan and all I have is a pistol at work? You know, what's the next step from here? Let's get into it. So you're sitting there, you're wondering, you know, what if shit hit the fan out of town, at home, at work, whatever, and all I have on me is my concealed carry weapon, which in this case, Glock 19. What if I want to be more prepared than that? What if I want to be the citizen that trains, you know, invested in some gear, maybe, you know, some guy, the famous thing people like to say on YouTube now is a battle belt, go to war belt. Well, as a civilian, guess what? You don't have a battle belt. You just have you have a little bit more capability than your everyday holding my pants up belt. So as just an everyday citizen like myself with no training other than what I do at the range, you know, I'm not going to call it a battle belt, a go to war belt. You know, I don't have to have the capability to hook into a helo to get to the drop zone or rappel off a building. The Army, the police, the National Guard, and hopefully some other trained individuals will take care of that. But it's never a bad idea to have a range belt, duty belt setup. So how do you get into that? Where do I start? What do I carry? What does Mojo carry for battle duty belt setup? So I did a video on it last year, but I'm going to run you through an easy way to throw something in your truck that helps you and your family out, be that much more prepared, and have the stuff that you need in case something happened. Because guys, I'm telling you, the stuff that happened to the poor people of Israel, and some of those clips, I might even clip that in now, to show the mindset. These people were at home, resting. There was people at work. There was kids playing. Some of the footage here looks like small town America, subdivisions, curbs, cul-de-sacs, plants, front doors, back doors, balls in the yard, bikes in the garage. I mean, it looks like small town America that these people blew a gate open and the terrorist, Hamas, evil, was on their front step. And a lot of them were caught off guard. There was several hundred people killed in this. And I'm telling you this as, don't let those sacrifices, those people's lives, be lost in vain. Learn something. Take something away from that, because that's what's wrong with history. Nobody teaches history anymore, and if you don't know history, you're doomed to repeat it. You ever heard that? Same thing here. You know, those poor people, you know, if they had had a shotgun by their bed or had some kind of an ammo stash or an escape plan or a shit hit the fan plan, which we'll go over in a minute, they might have been that much more prepared, because evil is going to come at your front door when you least expect it. They're not going to send you a text. They're not going to send you a Facebook message or an Instagram DM and say, hey, be ready for tomorrow. It's the day of jihad. Or, hey, guess what? We're going to, you know, do something to your family tomorrow. No one's going to tell you. Like a thief in the night, the Bible says. So be prepared. Be prepared. Take this stuff to heart. Take it with a grain of salt and learn from it. Little more than an EDC. So Glock 19, say you can still carry this. I appendix carry this myself. So say you want a little bit more than that. What's the next step? What I do is I put my stuff in a very inconspicuous Adidas bag. You can use whatever bag you want. This is my everyday carry truck gun, and it differs from what situational awareness and what's going on in the world that is, you just never know. So I can always level up from here. I can always level it down from here. I can kit up, kit down, whatever you want to do, but this is what's in this bag. So going into the Adidas bag, looks like a soccer gym bag. I mean, I even tried to find like a pink girls overnight bag or something that nobody would think was flat dark earth, American patches, FAFO, you know, Trump 24, you know, all those are great stickers and stuff to have, but something that's low vis, gray man, no one knows what's in this bag. That's what you want. So going into here, I have my personal setup for a range belt, you know, a level up from EDC. So instead of a covert setup, this is an overt. So this is where if shit hit the fan, I have to throw this on in the middle of the night with no underwear, I can do that. If I had sleep pants on, if I had cargo pants, cargo shorts, swim shorts, whatever the case is, I can throw this belt over me, strap it to my leg. I've got a little bit of first line gear that I can use. So let's get into it. So my belt of choice in this scenario, get rid of this bag. So the bag's number one. So this is the Core Industries Battle Belt. You guys have probably seen the video or some content on this recently. This is just your standard two-piece with an inner belt with a tough outer belt. Now the thing I like about this outer belt is it does have 2 rows of MOLLE webbing. So the MOLLE webbing, you can feed in all kind of accessories. This is an AR style pouch from the guys over at HRT with some Tigris. I like this style of pouch because it weighs absolutely nothing, and when it's not in use, I can throw my cell phone, I can throw a couple extra pistol mags in here, just like that. So it's a multi-use roll there. So right now I don't have an AR because I'm assuming going up into this kit series that you guys aren't to that level yet or have an AR or carry it every day. So we're going with a battle belt. Like I said earlier, you can throw this on a set of jeans, you can throw this on a set of cargo shorts, whatever you want to do. This can go immediately over the top of what you're already wearing with a ratchet system. So it's very easy to size. Listen to this. Very, very easy to size over the top of stuff, jackets, whatever you want. It's a very, very easy setup. Now, I do have this set up for some speed reloads or some ready mags, stuff at the ready if I need it. So I've got my Glock mags that fit my 19, my wife's pistol in there. So you've got some ready and easily accessible magazines. Those are both Glock 17 mags with some plus base plates. Never a bad idea. On some tech locks. Tech locks are something easy. Google them. You can put them on basically any belt you like. On the back end of this, I do have an IFAK. What I mean by that is this thing is an individual first aid kit. People call it a blowout kit. Medical supplies, first line stuff. It's on my belt. So if I grab this belt, I've got medical for at least one person, maybe a few others on me at all times. What's in here? How can I get to it? How do I use this? Stuff to have on you as far as medical supplies. A tourniquet. A tourniquet is always a good thing to have. Stop bleeds on extremities, arms, legs. Obviously, you can't put this on a torso or a head. That's what the other pieces are for. This is a actual cat tourniquet, not something off Amazon, not something that's cheap. These are about 30 bucks a piece now, thanks to Joe Biden. Have several of these on you. Have some on your, you know, if you run a chest rig, if you run a battle belt, if you run a plate carrier, if you just have this in your vehicle, have a cat tourniquet at all times and know how to use it. Super easy. The reason I have rubber bands on here is I can strap this to my pistol holster. I can strap this to the backseat of a car. I can throw it on my normal belt. I can throw it on this belt. It's everywhere. A 2-cent rubber band. Put this thing anywhere you want. Next up, we have a HRT individual first aid kit, which is an IFAK, what we just said. This thing has basically what you need for a gunshot wound for one person. So you've got chest seals, you've got, let's see what it says right here. You've got emergency trauma dressing, combat gauze, Z-fold hemostatic, which is the gauze. You've got a nasopharyngeal airway and lube. So if you got to free somebody's airway, you got a hyphen vent compact twin pack, emergency survival blanket, and 1 pair of responder gloves. So is this little piece of equipment going to save your life? It could. Could this, with the right training, save somebody else's life? It could. So this is nice. You'll notice it's in a nice vacuum sealed, dated package. The reason they do that is so this stuff doesn't get old, but also it keeps it safe from the elements. If you want to throw it in a backpack, if you want to throw it in a battle belt, if you want to throw it in a plate carrier, whatever. But I keep this with me at all times, whether I'm doing a battle belt or a chest rig setup. So another great piece of kit to have in a first line gear in your truck at all times. Actually, having 4 or 5 of these is probably what you should do. They're a little pricey. I think this one's about 70 bucks, 60 bucks. So, you know, be prepared, guys. Have it on you. Not a bad idea. Another useful addition to the battle belt, obviously, is a way to carry your pistol, or a bigger pistol, combat size pistol, they like to say, at all times too. So in this scenario, we've went up from a Glock 19 Gen 5 to a full size 45. This is the Raider project, and this is my Black Hawk T-Series. So this would be considered your full size duty pistol. Obviously you could just kit up that same Glock 19 if you wanted to. This one has a C&H red dot, a bigger light obviously, and a freight train coming at you. So this is awesome to have. Having multiple types of pistols, multiple calibers. Mostly I would concentrate on 9mm if at all possible. Have your wife's gun take the same ammo and the same magazines. That would be what I worked on first. Then go into some cool range toys like this. But I love this holster. Now this one doesn't come like this. Obviously I wrapped it just because, you know, God's camo, God's plaid, as they say, M81, all the way. A light bearing, red dot, level 3 holster with the thigh strap. If you're gonna go this big, trust me boys, add a thigh strap to your rig. It's gonna make your life that much better. And when you draw, your stuff's not gonna be all over you. But you can see, we just dumped about 100 rounds through this new gun, this T-Sauce Raider. What an absolute work of art. And I just wanna show you guys that project. So one of the last pieces of first line kit that I have that we're getting into now is one of these little Bale Fang radios. And people say, okay, you lost me here on the comm stuff. No, this stuff is great. And I used to be a big hater about having comms or headsets. Us here having this conversation, we're probably never gonna have military grade encrypted communication stuff, comms, as they say. It's just not gonna happen. So maybe you have friends or family or like a neighborhood guard, or maybe a disaster plan in your subdivision, neighborhood, community. These are never a bad thing. We tested these the other day. Now this is your standard Baofeng UV5R, which is on Amazon right now for 25 bucks with the short battery. It's a steal, honestly. It comes, some of the kits come with these nice longer antennas. My advice, throw that little antenna that comes with it, throw it as far as you can in the garbage can. Get one of these. This is an Abri, whatever. It's like a 12-inch antenna with a little whip. This thing is great. All right, so if you guys are getting into comms, communications, having a shit hit the fan plan is not a bad idea, because if something did happen in America, I feel like the cell phone towers are probably going to be one of the first targets. EMP, stuff like that, obviously would knock these out. These are not military grade communications by no means, but I've tested these 2, 3, 4 miles, no problem. Inside of a neighborhood, no problem. I'll show you now. My entire family has taken this to heart. It's not a bad thing. And the more radios you have on the same frequency, multiple frequencies, because obviously playing A, B, Z through D, great thing to have. But let's see if these work. Let's see if my code word family member is online. So check it out. Blondie1, this is Mav Actual. How copy? Over.
Mav Actual, this is Blondie. Solid copy. Over.
All right, so having these is not a bad idea. Like I said, if you're at work, if you're lucky enough to work near your spouse, or maybe you're a couple towns over, you know, just walking through scenarios here. If cell service did go down, these don't work off cell phone towers. They work off GMRS, all these other frequency terms. I'm not a comms nerd. I couldn't tell you, you know, how this works, other than this is better than your Walmart bubble, you know, packet radios, your Motorola's, your stuff that has a couple of frequencies. You can listen to police radios, you can listen to emergency broadcasts, weather radios, all kind of stuff. Such a great idea to have. Super budget friendly. You can get headsets for these, push to talk. You can put these in a helmet setup if you want a helmet. But a couple of upgrades that we did. Shout out to my dude over at Covert Arms. Go check out his, he's got a couple of websites, Defense Distributors and Covert Arms. He is the man when it comes to Baofeng. I'm going to get him on the show soon, the channel, the podcast, something, so we can have him and pick his brain on how to use these. to full capacity, the full capability of what these can do. But the two biggest upgrades that he sent over was right here. I wanted the push-to-talk guard, which this is a 3D printed piece that goes on the bail thing, screws into these two screws here in the back end where your little clip would go. But this is a great piece, so if I'm going to shove this in a plate carrier or a pouch, nothing is going to accidentally key that radio up, just like we got Blondie on the radio there recently. As you guys just saw, you want this piece to block that PTT guard. And then also, this knob from the factory is a little bit loose, so this keying on in your volume knob. So he also sells a piece here that is a perfectly fit gasket O-ring that tightens up that knob, so when you do turn this on, you actually can hear it.
Frequency mode.
I'm not going to show you the frequency I'm using, but it makes that knob that much nicer to turn on and off when you do use this. So, Covert Arms, Defense Distributors, he's got a great YouTube channel, can learn a lot from him there, and can't thank him enough for helping us out on the channel. And there you have it, guys. There's my first line of if I'm going from an EDC setup like this Glock 19 in the waistband, if I wanted something a little bit more substantial to help others, help a family member if they got shot, hurt, cut, massive, traumatic bleeding, a trauma wound, whatever. My basic grasp of medical knowledge is pretty basic. Like I said, I haven't taken any courses. You guys can learn this yourself on YouTube. There's a lot of good channels out there. Prep Medic, that guy's like a holy grail of knowledge for EMS, your basic care of traumatic wounds. So, you can learn that stuff at home and have a little bit better knowledge than if you just out on the street, one of you, your friends, your family, you get shot in the leg. What do you do now? You're calling for help. Well, if you have this stuff with you on your person, in your truck, in a go bag, seconds count, man. It absolutely counts. Having a battle belt, range belt setup may be something you want to consider if you want to go from inside the waistband to actually, I'm getting home. I'm leaving work, I'm getting home, I'm getting on my truck, I'm getting to my wife, I'm going to get my kids, whatever the scenario is. So guys, stay tuned to these videos. I hope you liked them. We're doing a lot more of this stuff. A lot of guys have asked me on social media, what kind of gear I use, what kind of kit that I recommend. Like I said, I'm just like you. I like to hunt and fish, I like to shoot on the weekends, I like to tinker with guns, but I also like to have the stuff that's going to give me an advantage. Always remember this, there's no such thing as a fair fight. You don't want to be in a fair fight. So make it unfair, be ready, and get this stuff and use it. So guys, as always, appreciate you tuning in the video. More to come. Next up, we're going to talk about chest rigs, plate carriers, and some other first line kit that you need to have. So, as always, boys, catch us on the next one.